Hey y'all, it's Lisa Zahiya, life and business coach, and this video is all about how I became a person who does what I say I'm going to do, and not just to other people. That has been a process. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but this video is really about how I became a person who said what I was going to do and stayed accountable to myself, how I finish projects, how I do things, and how I create goals. That has changed my entire life. So let's talk about this first. Generally we as people, I find me, obviously I was doing what I said I was going to do for other people. Things like showing up for client work, especially when people had paid me. That's not an issue. But I wasn't always great at doing what I said I was going to do that were little things with people. Following up, scheduling the coffee, not canceling. I mean, sometimes we have to cancel social engagements, whatever, but I became the person who was exceptional at doing what they said they were going to do. All I really did in that front is I made it a priority and I write down what I say I'm going to do. So if I say to somebody, hey, you know what? I really think that you should talk to Sarah. She's really interesting. You two might have something in common. And then every time those two build a business, change, have coffee, become friends, who do they think about? And I do it because I want those people to be connected. I want to come from a place of service, but also does that benefit me 100%? So, and isn't that the best way is when I do something out of the good of my heart and it reflects, like it literally is like a reflector, it reflects light back on me and great things happen to me and they think about me. But a comment I get about me all the time is they're like, wow, you actually did it. You showed up. Like, I show up at people's events. I go to the birthday party. Like, if I can, I will do it. And that is the first of two ways I did this. One, if I can, I will. And I include if I can, and like, I'm not going to go if I'm sick, if I need healing time, but if I am able to, I will do it. The other thing is I put time on my calendar every morning to reflect over the next day or the past weekend and say, do I need to follow up? Fortune is in the follow-up. Great things happen to people who go the extra mile. So I'll always look at the day before. If I had coffee with somebody, met them at a networking event, thought about someone, I'll send them a message, a note, a thank you. This is what we could be doing for each other. This is how we could support each other. I think is super interesting, and it also, like, people notice that. If you are the person who goes that extra mile, people will notice and great things will happen to you. So here's the harder part. How did I develop integrity with myself? I used to never finish a book, never finish a project, have half done things related to my work. And oftentimes I'd also move like what I said I was going to do for myself time-wise, work out, go to the doctor, like anything that benefited me, I would move it on my calendar either because I was over giving to other people or I was moving it because, you know, like sometimes people would say, oh, I feel lazy, but I actually think, I don't really believe in the word lazy. We're doing things for a reason, that I was so tired for trying to prove myself to other people that I never had the space to do it. So this is how I started, is that I started with very short commitments. So I'd set a timer on my phone, and like once an hour, it would be like, drink a glass of water, do 5 squats, text a friend, and I, no matter what, did it. If I needed to go into the bathroom and do 5 squats, I would do it. Of course, I scheduled it not in the middle of a call, but what this is doing is this is literally reprogramming myself that I have integrity to myself, that I finished the commitment. So I do that. And after I did it, I'd pat myself on the back. Yes, because your brain recognizes those as symbols we've been programmed as symbols of celebration. I would tell somebody, this is how I did a good job. Now on the other side of that, if I didn't do something, I would move it to another time to show myself I value myself enough to move this to another time, but I never beat myself up. So there's like holding myself to a standard, but also understanding there's a reason I'm not doing something. So it's this ability to hold those two things at once. And so what I would do is if I didn't do something, there's two things. One, if we don't do something over and over again, there's probably a reason. Am I doing it because I think I'm trying to keep myself safe? Am I doing it because I'm trying to withhold myself from something? Am I doing it because something happened in my past and I need to metabolize that situation, event, trauma? So oftentimes I think if I'm trying to do something continually, I think about what do I need to feel safe doing this? What do I need to help feel supported? That's why I have a coach. And then I create those situations so I can move forward. So it's never just like, oh, I'm a screw up and I don't do things. There's typically a reason you don't do something. I hold myself to a standard, but I also understand and love myself to create a space where I can hold myself to that standard. When I learned how to lift weights, I didn't start with the little 1-pounder and just stayed there because that's comfortable. But just like weight, I would increase the amount of responsibility I was giving myself. So we went from one thing an hour to like a whole day. I'm going to commit to sticking to this schedule. Or if I need to rearrange the schedule, doing the things done that I'm committed to doing in integrity with myself. Two more things. One is the word integrity. I define integrity for myself and I commit to being in integrity with myself. The thing that I always think about is I put myself in situations where I publicly have declared what I'm going to do. So sometimes I'll post it on the internet. Sometimes I'll tell my team. Sometimes I'll tell my friends because that's creating accountability for myself and that's just a little hack. And that is all about how I became a very imperfect person who trusts herself to do what she needs to do to be happy, healthy, and move forward.